This is the number one reason, in my opinion, why you may not be seeing any movement, anything changing in your physical experience in this dream world, or some of you call it 3D. And I'm going to share with you, I'm going to give you a couple of analogies that is really going to click and help you sink in as to what you need to shift from so that you begin to see the movement in your life and see how powerful you are to change any circumstance. So stick with me. You're really going to like this video because I'm excited, and I shared a little bit of this in the Rosy Life course and community on the live last Wednesday, and a lot of light bulbs went off and they're just like, oh my God. And I want you to have that too. Before we get started, welcome. My name is Rose, and welcome to the Rosy Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart to live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, go to rosylife.com, or you can join the Rosy Life course and community. And I have a little special thing brewing that I'm going to be announcing the next few days for those of you who are interested in doing something different. All right, so stick with me. So why I wanted to do this is it was inspired, like I said, from the live that I just did in the Rosy Life course and community. And there's so many light bulbs going off on there, you guys, and they're really starting to gain a higher level of awareness, and they're deepening their awareness of themselves as God, as the creator of their life. Like, we're moving away from this just being techniques and processes to stepping into your power, and getting what you want is just like a given. It's an automatic because everything is already yours, and all we're doing is getting rid of all the beliefs and thoughts and things that you've been holding on to that you think you need to fix or change about yourself in order to get what you want. No, you have what you want. You're just getting rid of all the beliefs and thoughts and everything, all that holding on to it and trying to fix it. You just have to let that go. And then what you want is already there. So you don't have to attract something in. You don't have to force something in. You don't have to convince yourself you have it. You just have to let go of all the layers that are on top of it. And that is precisely what we do when you work with me one-on-one or in the course and community. But the top thing, and this was for me too, you guys, I'm not, like I said in all my videos, I'm not up here preaching anything that I personally wasn't challenged with in the past or that I didn't realize. And I also share this with all of you and share this with everyone that I work with and in all my content. So that's where it's coming from. And there's only one truth. There's not like, oh, well, you said this, she said this, and that person said this. There's only one truth. And everyone, every teacher, every book is trying to point all of us in that direction of that one truth, right? But instead, I really want the Rosy Life to be about getting into a deeper awareness of who you are, so you are not at this, I need techniques, I need to process, I need to reprogram my mind, or I need to do all these things, right? I really, that is where the Rosy Life is about, and that's what we do. So if you think about anything that you desire, anything that you've been walking around saying that you're trying to manifest, like, let's get rid of that story first of all, okay? And when you're describing something, even if it's in a one-on-one session with me, I know that my clients are trying to explain to me what it is that they desire, and they say immediately, I'm trying to manifest, or I've been manifesting, right? I would invite you to just scrap that way of thinking, because your mind listens to what you tell it to do, okay? So if you're trying or you've been manifesting, you're going to stay there. So instead, you want to go to the end. You want to always, like Neville Goddard said, remain in the state of your wish fulfilled. You go to the end, or all the teachers and guides and coaches, both ancient and current, they all tell us the same thing. It's just that you're just imagining what it is that you desire, and you don't have to fix anything about yourself to get it. You just have to keep your eye on that prize. That's it. And if you listen to like non-manifesting coaches, like wealth coaches or life coaches or whatever, they tell you about focusing on what it is that you want, and then you retroactively, they start working with you on how you're going to get there. Well, it's yes, but with that, so yes, go to the end, forecast what it is that you want to have, the goal, right? But the part that we as deliberate creators get to skip is like retroactively trying to figure out how to make it happen. We get to completely scrap those steps and just stay on that prize, stay on that goal, stay in that end of what it is that we want. And then you will naturally be moved to take any kind of action, but it won't be anything that you think that you're having to do on purpose and sit down and make a plan, right? So it will happen naturally. You'll naturally all of a sudden see yourself creating a list or talking to certain people or making phone calls or creating content or whatever it is. But it won't be because you're like, I'm doing this so that that plan, that goal happens. That's very different. But what happens is so when we're scrapping that middle part out, okay, so we see the end and we're scrapping that whole, I got to figure out how to do this. That's all we have to do, right? You see that as not as real as you doing something with your body, like you physically taking action. Why? Because you've learned to trust more in this physical world of senses, that your actions produce an effect, right? Like that cause, if I do something, then I get something, and then now I have it. So that is where most people are, that's where your mind goes. So you think that you've got to do something. That doing gives you the feeling of satisfaction of I'm doing something, so that means I'm going to get it. Well, that just goes back to the original like life coaching, process of like, oh no, you got to do things and then you got to get it. Okay, so I'm not saying that doesn't work, because it will work, because you are believing in those steps that will work. What I'm pointing you to is that you are so powerful that you don't even have to try to figure out how that's going to work. We just live in the end. We go to the end and we allow God to produce the effect of it in the most magical way that we can even sit down with a whole boardroom of people to figure it out. Like that's just, it's a blink of an eye, the way that things can happen for us. So, but what happens is we believe in the concrete physical reality so much more than we do in what the real reality. I don't even call it for myself. I use these words on the channel because there are words that you resonate with, but I would invite you to move away from even calling the 3D a reality, because it is the reflection, it is the movie, it is the projector, the echo. It's all of those words that we've heard a million times, I know, right? But that's all this is. This is just showing us what we have going on within our imagination or awareness. So why is that? Because again, we're so busy and wanting to be busy and think that busy equals actual success, that busy in doing and moving and affirming and scripting and taking action, that is going to equal success. That is what you're taught. And that's what we're all taught. So now what you're doing is you're thinking that your efforts are the cause of why something manifests, okay? So then you become very habitual about going back to doing so that you get something. Instead, what you want to move away from is that this physical experience, the world of senses, right, is the effect of what you have going on in awareness, in your imagination, what it is that you're focusing on, what you keep continuously coming back to in your imagination. But what happens is you think that this out here is what is real, and what you do in imagination is fake. It's fairy tale. It's not real. That it's delusional, right? The only delusion, A Course in Miracles says, is you believing in this illusion. That's the most delusional thing, to believe in something that dies, something that can be changed, something that can be molded, something that comes and goes, that is what you prefer to put your belief on, that is the most delusional thing, to believe in the illusion instead of going within. And in a video that I recently made of Imagination is Reality, that is what I talk about. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to go watch that. But your imagination is reality, and you don't give it enough credit. You get this illusion, the 3D, the world of senses, you give that more of your belief, trust, and power. You believe in it because you can touch, hear, smell, see it, all of those things, and you actively are doing. And you think that the imagination is fake, a fairy tale, is wishy-washy, it's a dream, it's Disneyland, it's fake, it's not something that you can count on, right? Those kind of things. So I want to show you I'm going to give you a couple of things, okay? So this is one thing, right? So we have the movie, which is 3D, and then we have reality. Now let's use money, okay? So like my bank account. Let's say my bank account, whatever you can put whatever numbers in here you want. You can put 25 cents if you want. Whatever. These are just numbers. So let's say that in this movie, you currently are looking at your bank account and you see $25,000, okay? And you're just like, but Rose, this is what I see. And this is what, every time I log in, this is what I see. This is like what I see with the senses. That's the movie, okay? And then you're just like, okay, but what do I want? Okay, my bank account, I want it to say $75,000. And you're like, Rose, but this movie, it keeps showing me this every time I log in, or every time I think about when I spend money, I think about, oh, this is what I have, I gotta chill. Otherwise this is gonna dwindle. Do you see, you keep coming back and referencing this movie every time you go shopping, every time you spend anytime money comes up, a bill comes up, or whatever, you keep coming back to what you see. You believe in this. And then you're like, but I want this, but you don't believe in this. You choose to believe in this. You think this is reality, when this is the only reality. This is what I am. This is who I am. Not this. This is my reality. But what happens is you see this again, and then you're just like, well, that's wishful thinking because it's not happening. I've been affirming, focusing, imagining, scripting, blah, 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 but nothing's changing. That's because every time you spend money, every time you think about your bank account, every time you don't see this, you keep seeing this. Well, there's no difference. The only difference, do you see the number 2 and the number 7? If you close your eyes right now, and you see this number, and like this one tries to pop up, and you're just like, okay, no, but that's the old number. This is the new number. This is who I am. This is my I am. This is my reality. This is my reality. I have this. And anytime you spend or shop, and you're just like, oh yeah, I have this. This is what I have right now in my bank account. This is what I have. But you tend to believe in this. So what you want to do is you have to understand that your imagination is the only reality. But you keep giving this reality. You keep giving this power. You keep giving this your authority. You keep giving this truth. You're loyal. You are like loyal. Little loyal servant, faithful like a little dog to the 3D. to the movie. When this is what needs your loyalty, this is what you believe in, this is what you put your faith in, this is your truth. Your imagination is God. Awareness, that's another way to describe imagination. Awareness, your awareness. What am I aware of? Am I aware of the 2 or am I aware of the 7? That's all it means. Am I aware of this or am I aware of this? And the persistence in how much you put in that belief. And that is where techniques and tools come in. You're like, you can close your eyes. You can see the 75,000 in your account, right? You can imagine what it feels like to have 75,000 in your account. Like you would totally do things differently. You would feel differently in the morning. You would go to sleep differently at night, knowing that this is what you have right now versus this. Do you see? That's where the tools come in. The tools don't have any freaking power. It's your awareness is what is the power. That is what makes a difference. You believe, you put faith in your awareness and your choice to see this instead of this. But what happens? Here's another example. All right. Here's my little penguin. Okay. So here's Mr. Penguin, and he's really cute, right? If I told you, and this is what I shared in the Rosie Live course and community on Wednesday on the live. If I told you in this hand, I'm holding another penguin. Do you believe that I am holding another penguin in this hand? You're probably going to initially say no, that you only see one penguin. And you're choosing that this penguin, this hand with this penguin is the only real one because your eyes see this one. And I'm telling you, in this hand, I'm holding another penguin, just like this one. That's what this one looks like. And I'm holding it. But you're choosing to only see this one. You refuse to believe that this one's real. Why? Because your eyes can't see it. And if you were holding it, you'd be like, well, I can see this one and I can feel this one, but I don't see and feel this one. But I know I'm holding this one. My belief is in this one more than in this one. That is what you have to switch around, is your belief that this one is the reality, the one that you're imagining. That's the real penguin, not this one. But because you've taught yourself to believe in what you can see, touch, hear, smell, you believe that this one is the only real one, when this one is the reality. This is the real penguin. Why? Because it is the divine imagination. It is what causes, right, the penguin to appear. Now, but what happens? Let's say, okay, Rose, I got it, that my imagination is real and it doesn't matter if I can't see it. It's real. It is what is real. That is what matters. I get it. And then you start, you're like, okay, I do it. But what happens? Right? You're like, I believe it, and I'm gonna focus on this one. I choose this is my reality, even if I can't see it, I choose it. But what happens? This starts happening. Right? This one over here, this penguin starts doing weird things. It starts changing colors. It starts talking. It's moving. And then you get distracted, and you're just like, oh, but this one's real. This one's doing all these colors, and it's saying things, and wait, it's changing. It's like, wait, and then you put your focus on this one. Do you see where my head went? My focus went here instead of keeping focused here. You can be aware of this one changing colors and doing all those things, but it doesn't mean it's more real than this one. You just got distracted with what it says and what it's doing, what it's changing, and it just took your focus off of it. You're like, oh, yeah, I see it, but you put your focus, you persist on this penguin, that this is the one that's real. And I'm using penguins, but you can just put in your desire, right? Imagine that these are both your desires, whatever it is that you want to, whether it's experience it, hold it, smell it, touch it, taste it, whatever. Just imagine that these are your desires, but you're so distracted with all the noises and colors and things that this one does, right? That 3D is doing in front of you, that you're like, I got my focus. You're like, wait, why is it changing colors? What's it doing? What does that mean? Does blue mean something? Wait, red, green. No, wait, what are these? Are these signs? What am I supposed to be doing with these? Do you see? So that is what we're doing. We're putting our focus on what we see, touch, hear, smell, instead of putting all of our trust and faith and focus on the only reality, which is your divine imagination. And that is the number one thing that you want to start shifting over, to go within, because everything without is just a reflection of old thoughts, old imaginings, old beliefs, old assumptions. And you don't got to fix them. You don't got to change them. You don't have to do none of that. You just stay focused and loyal and fall in love with that imagined desire. Just love it. Fall in love with it, because it is the reality. And whatever you do within, with that wonderful focus and feeling, and you fall in love with that thing, this 3D must produce it. Everything must start transforming to reflect that what you have within. So it is not a maybe, it is not a hopefully, it is a slam dunk, and it is the law. It is the promise. All right, my loves. I intend that this video is helpful and you guys got your light bulb moments, because man, I was feeling it, and I know that you are all feeling it. Thank you so much for liking the video. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I love watching this channel grow. Thank you for sharing my information and my videos with others, so that they can also get the realization and get out of the technique in affirming 10,000 times a day. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. You guys are also freaking amazing. I will see you soon. Bye.